Up until this point, we have learned the distinction between Ontrapages and Ontraport pages. We created a new Ontraport page. We even added new blocks and elements to that page. But if you're anything like me, you want to still be able to customize your Ontraport page a little bit further so that it looks exactly how you want it to look. So if that's you, stay tuned because we're about to learn how to edit both the blocks and elements within an Ontraport page. Let's go. Hey, hi peeps. This is Akilah Pitts, your friendly neighborhood Ontraport certified consultant, system strategist, and all-around helpful homegirl from over at AkilahPitts.com, helping visionary entrepreneurs just like you be able to automate their marketing, scale their business, and maximize their profits with the power of Ontraport. So if that's you, be sure to click that subscribe button right now so that you don't miss a moment of this automation awesomeness. Now, back to the topic at hand. So far we have created the Ontra page, and we've even added blocks and elements to that Ontra page, and that's a great start. But if you're anything like me, once you get the blocks and elements on your page, you want to be able to put your touch on them, make them look like how you envisioned in your head. And in order to be able to do that, you need to know how to go about editing both the blocks and elements within the Ontra page to get your vision onto the screen. So what we're going to do now is head on over to Ontraport so that you can get started with learning how to edit both blocks and elements on your Ontra page. Let's go. Basically, we've already learned how to go about adding a block and elements to an Ontraport page. But now we want to talk a little bit more about how to go about editing the blocks and elements within the Ontraport page. Because let's face it, whether we decide to build a block on our own or use one of these pre-designed templates, sometimes things just don't look exactly how you want them to look. So you just rather do some tweaks yourself. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. As you can see, I selected a pre-designed template because I feel this is going to be a little bit easier to kind of give you the overview of what to do. So let's talk about how we go about first editing the block. So we just added this block right here to this Ontraport page. And if you go up here to this gear icon, you'll see the option to edit this block. Now, on the left sidebar, you could really have fun when it comes to changing the background, the spacing, and all these different settings when it comes to this specific block on this Ontraport page. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can go within this block and understand that this block is divided up between columns and rows. And you can actually create additional ones just simply by clicking on these plus buttons on the side. As you can see, you can create additional columns that way. And if you click on the buttons at the top and below, or the plus buttons, I'm sorry, at the top and the bottom, you can create additional rows. So that's always a great thing to have the option to be able to do that right within that specific block. You also have the option of, I'm going to come back to this one, but you can move your columns to the left and to the right. So let's say I don't want this in the center. I'd rather have this a little bit more to the left. I can move my column to the left, just like you see here, or I can say, oh, I don't like that. I can move it back to where it was. I can decide to duplicate this column, but be very careful with that because if you don't have the spacing, you might get an alert that tells you you don't really have the space to be able to do that. So just FYI there. Or I can decide, you know what, I don't even want this column on this page at all, and then I can just delete it. And as you can see with each column, you can kind of resize it if you need to. Sometimes it could be a little stubborn, but you can kind of, do what you need to do. There it goes. You can kind of do what you need to do to resize it Sometimes it looks right, sometimes it doesn't. That's the beauty of playing around with the different elements. And then once you hit this gear icon here, what you're doing is actually going into the settings for this specific column. So if I click on this, now I can deal with the background, the spacing, and the borders and things just for this specific column within this block of this Ontraport page. So as you can see, you have a couple layers when it comes to building out Ontraport pages and various options when it comes to those layers. So the possibilities are endless when it comes to how you want to design your pages. So once you're done, if everything is all good in the hood, then you can hit this check mark and it'll take you back out to the actual Ontraport page. So now we're going to talk about the elements within the page. So you have, your text here, your headline or your subheadline, and a button here. You can customize those or edit those simply by clicking on the gear icon for that specific element. And when you do that, this is where it goes a little bit deeper into how you can edit those elements. So as you can see, all my font information is up here. I can do additional settings with any links and things down here, positioning, all those different things that you're able to do. And then you can, once you're done, you can hit the check mark. You can decide to move it around the page a little bit if you want to do that. You can even duplicate this element or, again, decide to trash it. So many different things you can do when it comes to how you want to customize your Ontraport page. So literally, you really can just feed all your design ideas and just put them all out on the page. And as you're building out, you may decide, I like this the way it is, or you may say, you know what, that's ugly, and decide to scale it back a bit. However you want to do it, you can actually do it with Ontraport. They give you the tools to be able to do it, whether you decide to use the pre-designed templates or you decide to build your blocks from scratch to create the Ontraport page of your dreams. It's really up to you. Okay, so now we're back and you just learned how to go about editing the blocks and elements within your Ontraport page. So go ahead and open up that new page you just created with all its new blocks and elements, and tell me in the comments below exactly what type of edits you plan to make to those blocks and elements to create the Ontraport page of your dreams. I'd love to hear about it. So, did you find this video helpful? If so, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, when you learn a little bit more about Ontraport pages, I'll see you soon, Happy Peeps. Take care. Bye.